Nostalgia, an effervescent feeling of a yearning for a better time that may or may not even ever happened in the first place. You know, our memory is not as great as we like to think it is. But I want to talk about a Doom WOD that I played recently by the name of Nostalgia, released in 2022, which is last year as of this recording, about a year ago, by my Olden. And I recently finished it for the first time. I played the first episode a little bit last year, and I thought it was really good. And I wanted to save it, and well, needless to say, I unsaved it, and I finished it as of this morning. One of the ways that I play levels is unique, I think, compared to other people. I speedrun when I play Doom, and sometimes, most of the time nowadays, when I play a new WOD, I will play through the level by level as I go, pistol start each level, and try to get the record for it. Now, Nostalgia is not extremely popular on the Doom Speed Demo Archive, but I managed to get the UV Max record for all 32 levels, and so I think that gives me a little bit of a unique kind of perspective on the map set that not many other people, and just Doom in general, that not many other people would share oftentimes. Everything I post on this channel is a record when I get it, so you know, sometimes people can beat my times and that happens, but yeah, so Nostalgia, from a speedrunning perspective, I mean, I think it's phenomenal. Almost every single level is about 3 minutes or shorter. I believe the longest level is somewhere in like 3.5 minute range, so actually getting through the whole thing did not take that long. Some of the levels had some pretty decent records. I believe map 26 took me the longest in terms of actually getting the record, but overall each level was pretty short, pretty easy to learn. That's another thing I like about this map set, is that the levels are not necessarily easy to understand, but not extremely complicated once you do understand it. So most of the levels in this WOD kind of involve maneuvering around, pressing a bunch of switches, opening a bunch of things. The level design is pretty easy to learn. Like I said, most of the levels, they kind of open up. The secrets are very not complicated. One thing I like about this WOD is most of the secrets are actually switch textures, so it makes the switch sound, which is something that I like. Not many WODs do that. And not every level, not every secret does that either, but that is something that's featured quite often throughout the WOD. But anyway, the levels open up, they flow together, rooms go into other rooms. The levels are very small, not super small, not like something you'd see out of like a Scythe kind of WOD, but again, a UV Max run of about 3 minutes per level. Some maps are about 1 minute per map, so again, the levels are pretty, they don't drag on. There's not very much cleanup when you're playing these kinds of levels. And another thing that really helps with the flow is the music. The music selection, I believe, is phenomenal. I think it's incredible. There's some songs in here. There's a combination of some classic Doom songs, you know, from other WODs like Back to Saturn X, Resurgence, so on, Eve Eternity. But then there's a lot of songs from old games, like 1980s and 1990s games. Some of them I've never heard of before, so, you know, so there's a lot of really cool stuff when it comes to the music. I would say it's an oops all bangers type situation. I mean, it's just fucking really good. And it's a mega WOD. There's 32 levels, you know, you got 3 episodes. The first one is very, very classic. There's a lot of the, you know, bronze textures, brown textures. There's a lot of very Doom 2, vanilla Doom 2 stylization going on, which I love. It's one of my favorite styles, so I fell in love with this WOD pretty much immediately. My favorite map from episode 1 is probably Pull the Plug, map 4. It's got the best song in the episode, which I think is phenomenal. And it's just a banger. I mean, it's really good. It's nukage sewers, lots of damaging floors, lots of radiation suits. It's just a really fun time. I love that kind of stuff. Episode 2 is like a city kind of level, or city kind of theme, and each level has like buildings and all this kind of stuff. There's a subway map, which I think is phenomenal. Reminds me a lot of Silent Hill 3, which I really enjoy, or Jacob's Ladder as well, which I also really enjoy. You know, there was one level in the city episode which has like, you know, some buildings that have like fully fleshed out like furniture. You got kitchens, all that kind of stuff. Really fun. And then you have episode 3, and episode 3 is kind of like, you know, the standard hell kind of thing. I got a lot of Sunlusty vibes from a couple of these maps that had like, you know, just Sunlust episode, whatever, the one that's in hell kind of vibes. It's just really nice. Some mini slaughter type situations, but this WOD is not a slaughter WOD at all. Most of the levels only have like 100 enemies. Some of them have way less, so it's not really a slaughter WOD, but there's a little bit in there. There's a little bit in there, you know, just to keep things interesting. I kind of enjoy that. And it doesn't drag, you know. There's a lot of short maps, and then you have like medium maps, and again, we're talking about the longest levels, like 3 minutes for a UV max run, so there's nothing really long. But comparatively, you have some maps that are bigger, smaller, you know. You don't see many long and big slaughtery-ish maps together, so the flow is kind of broken up pretty nicely map to map. And the ending, it's an Icon of Sin level, but it's, you know, it's a very one of those Icon of Sin levels that kind of, you know, they know, hey, it's an Icon of Sin level, so I'm not going to be too harsh on you. It's pretty short, pretty simple. But again, I just wanted to talk about this WOD, and I've also wanted to do kind of more commentary on Doom. I like Doom. It's a game I play all the time, and I speedrun the game, so I have a unique perspective not many people have. Not many people in the speedrun community play as much as I do, or play the WODs that I do for that matter. So I may do more of this in the future. I'm not sure. Let me know what you think. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to levy them in my direction. And yeah, so this isn't necessarily a review, but this is just so happens that this is the first one I'm doing, and it is a review of a WOD. So these, you know, this isn't necessarily a review thing. I'm not doing reviews or so. It's just I really enjoyed this one, and I enjoyed speedrunning it specifically. And you know, I got all 32 records for it, so I think that's fun. I think that's cool, and I wanted to talk about how much I enjoyed it. And so there's a video. That's it. Go play the WOD, and I'll see you later.